So I want to tell you about the lab that you're doing today. I've been running around all over the place. It's 6:27 and I thought I'd be out of here by 5:50 and I'm wrong. So for the lab you need two tubes and you're going to need to label them. The way that you're going to want to label them is on the top. You're going to want to put your period number, what the tube turns out to be, so if it's like A plus or A minus or what have you. And then you're also going to want to have some type of indicator as to who you are, so you could do that on the sides, or if you do it on the sides, there's a coded side that you can kind of see there. It's on the opposite of the numbers. You're going to want to label there. What you're going to be using are some reagents. The reagents are labeled, so this one says like P-ARA on it. There actually is liquid down at the bottom. There's just not a lot, which means you get like one use out of it because there's 8 microliters in this one. You also have some liquid in here. If you notice, does that show up? Yeah, there's some water or liquid on the side of a tube. If you see that, it's just a matter of tapping it down and all the liquid falls to the bottom. So each of the tubes are going to get these. You wrote down the amounts. They're also going to need, because they won't work on their own, they're going to need some additional help. So one of them is going to be the restriction enzymes. So this one says BAM H1 and Hindi 3. So there's a little volume on that. You're also going to turn out to need some restriction buffer. If you don't add restriction buffer, things do not work. You're also going to need something for control, which are the minus tubes, and that's going to be in the blue tube that's labeled H2O. So the H2O tube has distilled water in it that you can use. Each of your setups is going to have everything. So hooray and a hip hip. What am I thinking of? What you're asked to do is pellet everything. So when you pellet stuff, what you're going to want to do is you have to use 2 tubes that have the same volume, and they're all going to turn out to have the same volume provided you see liquids go in. Oh, when you add liquids, what I personally do is I actually move the tip of the micropipette to the side so I can see a bubble, a little droplet form, and when I see those droplets form, then I just tap it down and hooray, I have my volume. What you're going to be using are these, which are centrifuges. You do need to turn them on. You will need to plug them in, but they should be plugged in off to the side. So to open them up, it's lid down at the bottom. These things spin really fast, and the catch is they need to be balanced, because if you don't have them balanced, you'll actually destroy them. And given how 5 of the micropipettes, when I came in this morning, weren't actually put or left at their original numbers, and some of them were actually twisted past what they're supposed to be, if they don't work, I'm charging both period 1 and period 5 for them, and they're about $200 a piece. Don't mess with my stuff, because I'm the one who bought those, not the school. I did. What you do is you take your tube, there's a hinge, and you place the hinge on the outside. Let me make that so it's easier to see. Hinge is on the outside. But because this is a game of balance, you need to have 2 tubes. So I can't put 1 tube in here. I can put 2, so I can do even numbers, not odd numbers. Then the moment you close it, it's going to start to spin. You're going to need to spin it for maybe 5 seconds. And all that's going to do is ensure that all the liquid is down at the bottom. Once you have that, the tubes are fully labeled. You put them over on the side. You'll see a heat block that's set for 37 Celsius. And they just sit there for an hour. The sub will then deal with it from there. Tomorrow what we're going to do is take components of hopefully things that were digested, and we're going to stick them back together. So we're going to form a ligation. It's pretty simple. Today is medium difficulty, I would say. Tomorrow is super easy. Okay.